my first gig. Okay, so it was. So Adam introduced me to David. I'm pretty sure we all know who David is, and he was throwing an event during Coachella weekend with Weed Maps to do like this little like weed oasis, and he asked me, he's like, "Hey, what's your rate if someone wanted to hire you to roll blunts for them?" And I was like, "I have no idea, bro. No one's really ever asked me that." And he was like, "I think you should charge this much." I'm like, "Okay, maybe I will." And then he asked me, he's like, "You know what? I want to hire you to come roll blunts for me and exhibit this weekend." And I was like, okay. I just said okay. I was like, whatever. And I meet Dave up the next day at his apartment, and he's like, "Get in the car." I'm like, "Which one?" He's like, "This fucking Rolls Royce convertible. I don't even know what the fuck it's called. It's the first time I've ever seen a Rolls Royce in person." And we get in the car. There's a buddy in the front seat. I jump in the back, and we're on the highway. We're cruising. He's going like 90 with the top down. And then he just looks back. He's like, "Hey, can you roll me a blunt?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Like no hesitation. I'm like, "Yeah," and I quickly realized that was a fucking mistake because it was so difficult. Like I broke open the backwood, and like tobacco was flying all over the fucking place, and I had no idea where to dump it either. So I was just like, so what I did was I lifted my hand, I just kind of let it go, and tobacco just went everywhere. And David looks at me in the mirror. He's like, "Hey, don't do that." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry, my bad." So like, I have the leaf crumpled in one hand. I'm like, shit, how am I gonna break up the bud without losing all of it? So I'm breaking it up. Like I hunch over and I'm like working underneath my legs, and I'm breaking up weed and everything's flying left and right. And I'm like, oh god damn it! I should have fucking asked him to put the top up or like slowed down or something, or told him to smoke this fucking other pre-rolled blunt that we got a bag full of. But I was like, fuck it. At that point, it became like a mission and a challenge. I'm like, I gotta get something done. Like, it's half a blunt or something is better than nothing at all. So eventually, I work my way and I get the blunt done. And I realized I only had like a regular lighter, a Bic. And I was like, oh man, how am I gonna get this blunt lit? So like, I find a little nook in the rolls, and like 50 sparks later, I get enough heat to fucking get the blunt going. And I fucking take a puff, and the smoke wafts, and I see Dave's nose turn up, and he's like, "You got it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I pass him the blunt, and we're cool, we can get there. And then fast forward to the next morning, and he's like, "Man, I was really impressed that you were able to roll that blunt with the top down. I knew that was like pretty close to impossible, but I just wanted to see how good you were. And once you did that, I was like, I knew you were the best." And I was like, "Oh fuck, dude." I was like, and I just told him straight up, like, "Bro, man, I almost asked you to put the top up or like pull over because I couldn't get it done, But I'm glad I did it because like that was basically my job interview." So after that, he just took me on as his personal roller. I moved in with him, so I was just like everywhere with him, rolling him blunts, rolling everyone blunts, and that's pretty much my first weed gig, and it just opened up like a ton of doors.
All right, guys, if you enjoyed that episode, be sure to check out some of our other ones over here. Click around, subscribe, check it out. Peace.